When the time comes, your estate will be settled. You get to choose, though. Will it be settled by design or by disaster? Hi, Nancy Beauvert here with Agape and NEXsteps. A lot of people avoid talking about their estate planning. It tends to be lumped in with things that people don't like to think about, like their mortality or the fact that they could become incapacitated. But here's the reality. When you actually do plan, it is about living. It's not about dying. It's about making sure that you have everything in place should something happen to you. And by doing that, it gives you a clear path forward while you're living today. So let's examine the contrast here about planning by design or ending up with a disaster. So what happens when you do plan? Well, when you plan, that means that you are going to get all of your information together. You're going to make sure that you have those essential documents, like a will, like an enduring power of attorney, like your medical directive. Those essential documents are the three-legged stool. Those are the core pieces that you want to start with when you're doing your estate planning. But it goes much beyond that. It includes also making sure that you have beneficiaries named on appropriate accounts, whether that's life insurance policies or investment accounts. All of those kinds of plannings can help mitigate taxes at the time that you do pass away and your estate is being settled. It makes sure that your intentions of leaving your loved ones with the funds that you intended to go to them actually do go to them and not to pay taxes. Now, here in Canada, we don't have estate taxes, but we do have probate fees in most of the jurisdictions, and those are typically based on a percentage of the value of the estate. Not only that, but something a lot of people don't know is that a will is a public document. So if you leave everything named in your will, first of all, everything is going to have to go through probate. And it's going to increase the amount of probate fees that you're going to pay if you live in a jurisdiction that does charge probate fees. Secondly, none of that income is protected. If you end up giving a life insurance policy to some named beneficiaries, that passes completely outside of probate and it's not taxable. If you leave everything in your will, that will does become a public document. Anybody can go down and request a copy of that will from the courthouse, and they will know exactly what assets you had and what you left to whom. So when you are doing your proper planning, you're going to make sure that you have all of those documents. You're going to make sure that you've spoken to somebody to make sure that you are doing tax planning to mitigate the effects of those taxes on your beneficiaries. You're going to make sure that all of the documentation is easy for your executor to find. You're going to let everybody know about your digital assets as well, all of your passwords, so that those online accounts can be accessed and canceled by your executor. You're going to take care of all those things. And what will happen is your estate, although it will still take time to settle, will proceed in a very predictable fashion and with very, very little complications. Now let's contrast that. You keep putting off doing your estate planning. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. Something happens. You either die unexpectedly or you become incapacitated through an accident or an illness. So you don't have any of those documents in place. Let's assume, first of all, that you're incapacitated and you don't have that enduring power of attorney and you don't have that medical directive. Well, what's going to happen is your wishes are not going to be adhered to because nobody knows what your wishes are. They're not written down. Nothing is legal. Your loved ones may have to go to court to obtain permission to act on your behalf knowing what they know about you. Let's assume that you passed away. Okay, well then you don't have a will. What happens then is the courts in your jurisdiction take that over. They take over the administration of your estate. And if you do have loved ones, they can appeal to the court to become the estate administrator, but they have to be approved by the court or appointed by the court. And the scary thing is, the court may end up appointing somebody who you don't think would have been the best person to do that estate administration. That's also going to hold things up. It's going to cost more money, and it's going to create a lot of friction in your family. It's going to create a lot of chaos. It's going to complicate what is already a very complex situation, and in most cases, a lot of grief for the beneficiaries and the heirs, those that you have left behind. So the choice is yours, folks. You can plan now and you can have that peace of mind. You can know that you have things in place, remembering that life changes and you have to update your plan as things change in your life. But you will have a road to follow. You'll have a path to guide you. You will have your tax strategy in place. That helps you now, as well as your beneficiaries and your heirs, versus leaving everything like the grasshopper and the ant, and you're going to leave everything, and then something happens, and your family is left picking up the pieces, trying to figure things out. The choice is yours. I can help you with that planning. I'm a certified executor advisor, and I do have packages available. I can do either a simple consult with you, or we can dig into it at a deeper level, and I can help walk you through, give you those ideas, those concepts, find those gaps that are missing in your current planning to make sure that all bases are covered. Thanks very much for joining me. Hop over to my website, read the article. There's even more on there for you, a couple real life examples. I'll share more with you next time. Bye for now.